Hey there guys, and welcome back. On this week's show, it's Blooper Reel number 16, the Excavator edition. Well, here on the channel, we just finished up our 11-part series on a step-by-step tutorial on building Toys and Joys, the new excavator, pattern number 130. And if you tuned in for that, I want to thank you very much for doing that. I hope you enjoyed the series. But as you can imagine, there was hours and hours and hours of footage. Just crazy amounts of data, crazy amounts of filming. And during that time, of course, you know I'm not perfect, and there's got to be some bloopers in that footage somewhere. So I've combed through all of the excavator footage over the past 11 parts, and, well, I think the show will speak for itself. Well, hey there, guys, and welcome back. On this week's show, another toy... let's start over, where I don't look like I'm twitching. On this week's show, like someone in a Michael Jackson video. Oops. See right here on the top. Let's take this over. This would be easier in the vise. So let's do that. So I said we had 9/16. Not ready. So what we have here is my little fret saw table that we made here on the show. Let's start that over. Well, this is where marking our pieces. Can I see? Yes. We will now cut the wider dado. Dado? Huh? Be careful if you have an Incra fence. Nah, let's start this over. End up with. I have 80 of these here. Now, let's start over. And that would be those pieces. Well, let's start over.
If you keep restarting, y'all never gonna get it done.
So we've taken, or I've taken, what? The safest way to do this is with your miter box. It takes time, and just relax. Take time. Let's start over. I don't like what's going on here. On this build, guys, I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen so far. I hope you've crap.
Just when you thought you had it all under control.
Are going to be this little section right here. Let's put this down on the table so it's not going all over the place. All of our treads exists in cutting these, or in gluing these pieces on. Let's start that over. To have a successful track, and hopefully I've covered those in the 2 series that we've been talking about that. Let's start this over. I really hope you've enjoyed part 3 of the series, guys. I hope that you're going to tune in for next week. Oh, crap. I hope that you've enjoyed today's... I hope that you've... Crap, what is going on with my tongue? Well, it's been a long road, or rolling track. The difference here, though, let me start that over. Because the track now runs very smoothly. I say as it catches. And drill our hole. Let's start that over. That's very confusing. Look at the build. For me, I've been out here in today's little... No. Hopefully you will be able to figure out the rest to what you need now. Let's start over. Let's get my tongue out of my nose.
Gross.
Because it's cold in here. 6 degrees Celsius, for crying out loud. I'm freezing. See how I sacrificed myself for you people? You're welcome. All right. Gotta plug in the saw. Doesn't work without it. Well, at least you know I unplug it when I change my blade. Let's try this again. That is, get yourself 2 photocopies of this pattern. Crap, let's start that over. With that, it's just as safe, it's just as, it gives the, take that again. Well, we are going to cut this bracket, or these brackets, in the same fashion that we cut the other sections earlier. I wish I had a name for that. One moment, please. Are nice and square. We can see here at the back. Well, that piece may not be so square anymore. Let's start this over. Following along and making your own model. And not choking on it. So, let's start off with some of the easiest pieces to shape. And that will be... No. Which one is it? No. Detail, I guess. That's what we're going to call this. Let's start this over. Separate it from our template. And what you end up with is a rounded circle. Take some measurements here for the center of our painting pin right in there. Hopefully you can... Okay, let's take that clip over. Butterfingers. Lift this cover off and maybe have a little storage unit in there or something. I don't know, maybe I'll think about it. Let's start this clip over because this is stupid. You click that bell and then you won't miss the notifications of future episodes of the show. Once again, I want to thank you all for tuning in so much. Yeah. I'm going to look more into that later. But for now, let's start this clip over. I'm not going to point out problems before they happen. Well, the 1/4-inch dowel that I refer to is to make these exhaust pipes, or this exhaust. Let's start that over. Dowels. I want to kick this up a bit, and let's start this over. And I've taken a scrap of 3/4-inch oak. To give it a more rounded Oh no! Okay, this is what happens when you don't let it dry all the way and you push things for the camera. These pieces here are 1 7/16. Sorry, let's start this whole clip over. At 90 degrees at the end, and when they go together, you end up with this sort of a thing. Can you see? They're called the roof trim, or the cab roof. Let's start this clip over. Liking and subscribing to the channel. You click that bell and then you won't miss the notifications of future episodes of the show. We have a lot of fun here every Tuesday and Friday. It bores some of us. Click that bell and then you won't miss the notifications of future episodes of the show. We have a lot of fun here every Tuesday and Friday, and I hope that you're going to... the notifications of future episodes of the show. We have a ton of fun here every Tuesday and Friday, and I hope you're going to consider becoming a part of that audience. So the next piece for our cab is this little back section. What the heck is it called? When we left last week's show, we had just... Ding. So I have here a piece of 1/4 inch thick by 1/2 inch wide. Let's start over because I just messed that up already. Marking templates. So the first thing that we're going to do is on our seat back piece, which is the 1 9/16 inch. Let's do it so you can see what I'm doing. Start this over. And we can now take, what's it called? I don't know what it's called. Cab light covers. So we've got a lot to cover. Let's start that over. There's a few more little details that we have to do, and one of them is the cab light covers. Let's start over. I figured out a size of a blank that I've wanted. I still want it. I've cut this on the bandsaw and then sanded up to the line. Let's start it over without the dinging. On this week's show, we're going to continue with those cylinders, and it all starts off with some 3/16 die. Let's start this over where my tongue is getting in the way. From 4 separate pieces. All of them are 1/16 of an inch thin. Install will be the bucket trim, the top trim. Is that what it's called? I don't know. Series. This has been just a blast. It's a lot of fun, a lot of hours, a lot of work. And there you have it. Blooper Reel number 16, the Excavator edition. This is why you don't eat. This is why you don't eat while you're filming. Because you end up with stuff in your mouth and in your teeth and that sort of thing. And next thing you know, you're doing what I'm doing now, which is trying to get it out of your gum line. And there you have it. Blooper Reel number 16, the Excavator edition. Guys, that series, the 11-part series, was a load of fun to make. And any YouTube channel or anyone who tells you that they did the entire build without ever making a mistake, or they filmed something like this without ever making mistakes, I'm telling you, they're lying to you. Because on a show like this where everything is unscripted and I just basically say whatever comes to mind, I get tongue-tied. I forget things. Sometimes my thoughts just poof, gone. And I haven't got a clue what I'm saying. Other times I think I know what I'm saying, but then once I start saying it, I don't really know what I'm saying at all. I have to really think about it again. Maybe I should script them. But then again, it's not as spontaneous. If I script these, it's not you and I hanging in the shop. It's you watching a scripted show. And I think for my style anyway, and for what I provide here on my channel, I just don't think a scripted show would work. And on top of that, what would happen to the blooper reel if everything was scripted? It would just be me making mistakes reading off a teleprompter. Anyway, guys, I hope you've enjoyed today's show. If you haven't already, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. We have a lot of fun here every Tuesday and Friday, and I hope that you're going to consider becoming a part of that. Guys, I want to thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you've had a few laughs. There's some crazy stuff going on in our world right now, and what we could all use is maybe a little more laughter at this point in time. So I hope you were able to sit back, relax, and enjoy the show and have a few chuckles at my expense. Thanks again for tuning in, guys. I hope you're going to join me again next week when I bring you yet another Alternative Tuesdays.